parasite clings onto its host, draining it of its life. Like a leech sucks the blood out of its victim, so too I must cling on to this controversy for my own gain. And what better way to do this than shit-talking someone that I already had a gripe with.
Then the internet decided that this game was no good.
These spoilers basically show you that the game is not worth buying.
It's barely the beginning of a video, and he's already made a huge mistake, taking Mr. Obvious seriously. I mean, I don't want to shit on the guy, but he's been doing this YouTube thing for like 3 years now, and he still talks like he has brain damage. But who am I to shit talk? Video Game Dunkey has had a string of opinions that I and many others don't fully agree with, neither appreciate. The most recent one is obviously the Last of Us review. But for me, it was always that goddamn video where he shat on Assassin's Creed. Which I would completely understand if you were just talking about the ones after 2. But the motherfucker had the gall to put it in his filthy mouth. So, I'll be holding him to his standards. You better get that ass ready, boy. For you see, Assassin's Creed 2 and The Last of Us have quite a few similarities. Let's not get ahead of ourselves though.
Uncharted 4 took Last of Us and slam dunked it into the fucking garbage can. So how do you top Uncharted 4? Well, you don't. Uncharted is mysterious and exciting with a knockout ending. Last of Us is gross and horrific.
Wait a minute, so The Last of Us is shit because we have high standards? I thought you were supposed to convince us that it wasn't shit, Donkey.
Just let me get to the fun part. They're so hesitant, so reluctant to let you just play the fucking game.
Oh, kinda like all the shit I had to go through just to get to the not boring parts of The Last of Us. Where one has to slog through empty buildings with like one encounter with a zombie.
Fucking blathers.
Oh my bad, it's one of those games. We don't say the Z word in this household.
They would rather make an 18-hour game with 4 hours of good material hidden somewhere in there than just an 8-hour game that's consistently good. It's constantly taking you out of the action to ram some fucking idiot story down your throat. Every game where you have to follow some dude as he walks as slowly as the physics of the engine will allow him to.
Do I need to repeat myself?
Yeah, I get that information gathering and trailing missions can be shit, but isn't that kind of what being an assassin is about? What's The Last of Us excuse for making me walk or gallop through an empty world to admire the graphics? Yeah, they're alright. Now can I play the game, or is this the second Strand type game ever? Oh my god! Well, there isn't much to say here. The game is gorgeous, but one may polish a turd as much as he likes. At the end of the day, it's just a shiny turd.
Game. Play. Why?
Levels are massive with tons of branching paths. Some of the encounters in this game are so sprawling and complicated that they could be tackled in 20 different ways.
Whoa, this actually looks pretty fun, right? But there seems to be missing something in between. Mighty sneaky of you, Donkey. But even you couldn't pass all the empty hallways and literal nothings in between those action clips.
Game like game.
Hey! You like crafting, right? Because The Last of Us has crafting, but it's one of the most boring crafting systems I've ever seen. Speaking as a fan of the crafting mechanic, I can't say that I'm impressed at all. Fucking picking up screws and pills. And the odd upgrade every now and again. Whoa, wait a minute. Long gun?
Long gun?
Jesus fucking Christ. It's as if the game has been written / directed by a propagandist. But we'll get to that. You know, it's funny to think that Ellie is just downing all those painkillers and gets a health boost. Even Ubisoft had better explanations for this retarded shit. Let's talk side missions. Unlike Assassin's Creed, which, well, did have kind of sameish missions, The Last of Us has only one mission in its open world stages, and that is go to the place, scavenge it, and then continue on. And on and on and on and on. How can anyone claim that this gameplay is actually good is beyond me. But here he is, claiming it.
A 4 out of 5.
Realistically, none of this is new, neither is it as fun as the games it takes from. On the one hand, the game tries to be a Metal Gear, failing horribly in the process.
Okay, shut up.
On the other hand, it tries to be modern-day Red Dead. I've fired guns in video before, I've ridden horses, I've killed zombies, I've experienced pain.
People aren't mad about graphics or gameplay though.
So what new does it offer? Nothing shines within these random gameplay elements. This is why people weren't shitting on the gameplay. it is average. It is a mismatch of multiple other games. And it only helped compound on the boredom people already felt.
Oh no, fuck this.
Originally, you played as a dude who goes back in time and becomes an elite globe-trotting assassin. I don't know how you make that boring, but that's what they accomplished. The story is fucking boring.
Whoa.
So what do I think about this story, huh? You want to know what I think? It's a pretty good story. I haven't been this engaged by a video game story since Red Dead 2 and God of War. How are you gonna kill off the main guy? That's everybody's favorite guy. Honestly, I think Ellie should track down this Abby character and kill her, see how she likes it. Now that would be a good storyline.
Oh, you mean something like this?
Ezio Auditore? What are you doing here at this hour?
My father and brothers have been imprisoned. I was told to bring you this.
I'll clear everything up.
Giovanni Auditore! You and your accomplices stand accused of the crime of treason. In the absence of any compelling evidence to the contrary, I am bound to pronounce you guilty.
We will! Father!
Yeah, not gonna lie, revenge stories are pretty good. But you know what's even better?
What is wrong with you?
You should see your face right now.
Perhaps they could have done this, eh? However, The Last of Us takes the telltale approach of, please cry, please feel something.
Nice part.
Which, sure, I'd feel something if it wasn't so painfully forced. You know what this reminds me of?
Get that gun away from me, psycho! No!
Alright, so this blue-haired bitch, right? She gets killed, and that pretty much starts the story. Funny how The Last of Us takes plot from this train wreck of a game. They even stole the lesbians.
Hey! I told you a real fucking story. I did tell you a real fucking story. Did you hear that? Will you wait, please?
You little lesbian.
It's a little bit more complicated than that.
Okay, maybe I'm reaching. But are the characters really more likable than this bitch was? Or anyone from Life is Strange, that is. Besides Joel, of course. Oh, wait. Nevertheless, the point of the story is even more played out and basic bitch level of introspection. Violence bad, revenge bad. In fact, I mentioned the supposedly ethically brutal scene where you kill a pregnant woman to a friend who likes this game, and how forced it felt that in the end I didn't really give a fuck about her when I was supposed to, thus pointing out that the story isn't really that good. His response? Yeah, I didn't really give a fuck either. And obviously, my next question was, how is the story of this game any good?
There you are, playing the PvP in your World War II shooter, and all of a sudden, you're a
Child killer!
You didn't ask for this. You didn't choose this.
And it's treated no differently than a good written story. Halfway into the story, you change into the main villain in a futile attempt to make her, and yes, it's a her,
Could've fooled me.
more relatable. But nobody gives a shit. Her story is bullshit all the way through. Except that one really hot part. You know the one. That scene was valuable to her character, and it really connected with me because I too like to fuck trannies. Especially ones that look manlier than me. And contradictory to my previous statements, I surprisingly kinda grew to like her. As opposed to Ellie. Story still is bullshit though.
One hateful act begets another, but a selfless act can also be contagious.
That's why Abby fucking murdered Joel after Joel saving her life. Oh yeah, he was the doctor shot. Holy shit, I was right. I mean, it wasn't that surprising, but still.
Now, you'll have to forgive me for I'm skipping a big part of this story, but that's because it's as memorable as this character's name.
A lot of weapons you could use here. Debbie? I'll call her Debbie now, I don't remember her name.
As if it isn't painful enough that the father figure is dead, now you have your lesbian doghound following you around.
What the fuck, I'm eating.
And she's as valuable as real life lesbians are.
I don't think... Get the fuck out of my way.
You don't owe Tommy anything. I don't need him. Not like you, Dina. What?
no idea what that girl's intentions are, but I do know she would be lucky.
You're such an asshole.
The loudmouth dyke.
It just seems like there's something missing from The Last of Us that Assassin's Creed has, or had, I should say, and that's soul. It's clear that, much like zombies people, this game has no soul. Hell, worse than that, it's as if it exists only to torment people, to feast upon their uncut penises, to revel on their blood libel.